All right, guys, Joker Boxing. I'm here with eBoxing News, Stuart Little, and Errol Jarrett. And we're going to go ahead and talk about Devon Alexander versus Shawn Porter. eBoxing News, what do you think of this fight?
I think it's a good fight. I think the value is definitely on Porter here. He's a live opponent in here. Devon Alexander, we do know, only seems to do well against a certain type of opponent, and that is one-dimensional sluggers, like Maidana, in other words. And after every good performance he gives, he has like 4 or 5 below par performances, accumulating in one shit performance which he loses. But sometimes he can lose like 2 or 3 on the row and just, somehow win them due to, his geographic position of where the fight took place. So I think Porter is definitely a live underdog in this fight. He's got power, size, boxing ability, and he's a significant underdog. What more could you ask for?
Good points, man. I hear you. Definitely some good points. Stuart, why don't you go ahead and weigh in, man? What do you think of this fight, Alexander versus Porter?
Yeah, it's not a bad fight at all. Again, it's with Devon. What Devon, if he wants to come and try and please the crowd and throw punches, then it could be a cracking little fight, because Porter has got skills. He's got some speed, so we're going to see good speed in there. We're going to see good footwork and obviously crisp punching, but it could be a spoiler again, I'm afraid. It could be one of them mauling matches and where it gets sloppy and styles cutting at each other. But Shawn Porter's hungry, but like I said, I've seen the guy draw with Diaz, and I weren't impressed with him too much that fight. But Devon has got skills, and I do rate him. He's just not my kind of fighter. I don't really like to watch him, but as a fight, yeah, it could be interesting. I'll definitely be watching it, but then again, it could be a stinker, so we'll see.
We will see. EJ, what do you think, man? Go ahead and weigh in.
Yo, man, me and eBoxing News, we've talked to Porter and Shawn Porter, and the inside scoop is his strategy. He's gonna pick a way how to, because obviously Devon only lost at the minute is Bradley, and I think they're gonna employ the same tactics. I'm thinking an upset. He's gonna employ them tactics and give Devon. He's gonna try and rough Devon up. Devon, to be honest with you, mine might be somewhere else, thinking of other paydays. This fight hasn't really been promoted that way in my eyes. Even not really big, maybe in the States, but I just haven't seen no big promotion on it. I think maybe Devon Alexander may be overlooking him and thinking of other bigger paydays and coming into this fight saying, well, I'm just gonna outpoint him and keep him on the back foot. But Shawn Porter's not gonna be having it. He's gonna employ the same tactics as Bradley. He's gonna be in his face, putting it on him, and Devon doesn't do well with that much pressure. So I take Shawn Porter beating him on a maybe a stoppage on cuts, or Devon just probably quits. So I think Shawn Porter will pull off the upset, man. Seriously. So I'll take Shawn.
Bold prediction. All right, yeah. All you guys made some great points. EJ actually stole one of the things that I was gonna say, which what I'm wondering is how focused is Devon Alexander for this fight? Is he overlooking Shawn Porter? That's where the danger is, because I think Mark and EJ brought up, Shawn Porter is focused. You guys spoke to him. He's focused. He's hungry. He's the guy who's the underdog. He's coming in here with nothing to lose. So the facts of the matter is, the question is Devon Alexander a guy who was mentioned for fights like Amir Khan, Kell Brook? He's a guy who's been campaigning for a Mayweather fight, even though we know he's probably definitely not going to get it. So he's got a lot of other things on his mind. So the question is, how focused is he for this fight? This year a theme has been that when you're not focused for fights, you either have a really hard night in there, or you get an upset loss. So we're gonna see. But let's go ahead, before we give our predictions, let's just go through and talk about who has the speed and the power advantages. So I want everybody to kind of go through and just list the advantages that you think each guy has in this fight. So Mark, you can go ahead and start.
Okay, well, if we're going to talk about speed, I think Devon Alexander's got it in the bag. He's got the better movement, maybe, and he's got a good work rate. His best attribute is definitely his work rate. He throws a lot of punches. He doesn't have a great connection ratio. That's what people, miss. They see a lot of punches being thrown, don't see if any of them land at all. That's the main issue with Devon Alexander. I question the guy's heart. He's got no power. I mean, we're talking about a guy who struggled to stop Lee Purdy. Struggled to stop a domestic level guy who's not that good anyway, Lee Purdy. That's all I've got to say. I've got no more else to say.
All right, Stuart, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Devon Alexander definitely doesn't punch that hard. I mean, Lee Purdy was laughing at him every time he hit him and saying, "Come on, Devon, is that all you got?" So Lee Purdy, let's be real, he's not the best, but he has got speed. He has got hand speed, very fast hand speed, and he has got some good technique. Devon, but it's just whether you never know what Devon Alexander you're going to get. He can stink the joint out, and he could look at sight in another week. So that's my problem with this fight. It's whether Devon's going to want to come to win it or just pot shot his way to a points win.
All right, EJ, what do you think, man?
Well, man, the way I see it is that at the minute, Devon is the marquee guy. He's the name brand. He's the world champion. You can't really underplay that. Devon, he's a 2-week champion at the minute. He's the more accomplished guy at this level. Like Shawn Porter, he's not proven. So you go with Devon, but it's just one of the things. You'd have to say Devon. He's got everything. He's just got everything at the minute. Shawn Porter, again, he's not proven that level. So I give it to Devon at this minute. Until Shawn Porter upsets him, you have to give it to Devon. He's the champion. I don't want to disrespect him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I see it too. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got to look at the stats in the favor of Devon because he's done it on a higher level. So we know that he can do it at this level. Everyone brought up some good points. At the end of the day, you do never know what Devon Alexander is going to show up. And you got to be thinking that Shawn Porter is watching that Timothy Bradley fight over and over again. And somewhere in there is definitely the blueprint to beat Devon Alexander. Okay, so Devon Alexander, he's a guy who, like Mark said, man, he could come in there some nights. He could have a stinker in there. You just never really know what you're going to get from him. I don't know, man. It's tough. I think this is a very tough fight. I think it's going to be a close fight. And I think the fight's going to be as close as Alexander's. Depending on his mindset for this fight, how prepared is he, how much preparation and focus has he put into Shawn Porter? That's going to be the true question. But I think Alexander has a lot to prove. I think he has a lot to prove, man, because if he is the guy who he says he is, I don't want to say he should make easy work of Shawn Porter, but there shouldn't be any doubts after this fight and who he is. Okay, so obviously he's kind of new to this weight class. This 147 weight class is Devon Alexander, so maybe we'll see some new things from him. We will see. But let's go ahead and without further ado, jump into our predictions. E-boxing news. How do you see this fight going?
I'm going to go for the upset. I'm going to say Shawn Porter wins a decision, close decision. I can definitely see why Devon Alexander would win. I can also see him getting a robbery victory. He's done it before, I suppose. I just think that, he's very counterable. He struggles with people who are not one-dimensional. I think the Lee Purdy fight shown that he's a bit overrated. I'm going to say Shawn Porter wins.
All right, sounds good. Stuart Little, what do you think, man?
Yeah, Shawn Porter's definitely a good little fighter. There's no doubt in that. But I'm going to have to go with Devon experience, and Devon knows how to win on points, and I think that's what he'll do. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a barnstormer of a fight, any means necessary. But we'll see. But that's what I'm going to go with. Devon Alexander points.
Whoa! Can I jump in for a minute?
Yeah.
Stuart, do you think that a points victory is good enough to get a Mayweather fight?
But Devon Alexander's not going to get a Floyd Mayweather fight, no matter what. He could go in there and knock Shawn Porter out in 25 seconds. It's not going to make no difference. That fight's not going to happen. Floyd wants someone that brings fans to the table. I mean, if you look at it, most of the time he gets Mexicans with big fan bases, or someone like Ricky Hatton. Now he's talking about calm, big fan bases. Well, he's not going to go after Devon. You've got to bring something to the table to fight Floyd. That's why Canelo got his shot.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good point as well, man. I think at the end of the day, for Floyd, I just don't think Devon Alexander's on his radar. And it really doesn't matter what he does. Unless he, overnight develops a very large fan base, it's not going to happen. And maybe that's why Devon does need a fight like Amir Khan or Kell Brook to get his name more out there globally and to build a fan base more.
See, that's what I think he has to do. That's more the level Devon should be looking at. Khan, Brook, he should be, forgetting about Floyd, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, here's another thing though. Are those transferable fans though? I mean, like, will they be with him for let's say the Amir Khan fight? Will they be supporting him for the Amir Khan fight and then just jump straight off the bandwagon after the Amir Khan fight? You know what I'm saying?
With Devon, I think it's just ultimately going to depend on how fan-pleasing can he make his style. And to this point in his career, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who don't really like to watch Alexander fight. You know, I don't mind him when he's at his best. When he's at his best, I don't mind watching him. You know, I think he's a good boxer. But like you two brought up, when he's at his worst, man, it could be kind of painful to watch at times. So that's the thing. Like he's going to have to get the big fights, and then when he gets the big fights, he's going to have to perform very big. EJ, what do you think?
I already kind of like I probably jumped into it a bit too early on my prediction, but like I said, I think Shawn Porter, you know, he employed the right strategies, and Devon might be looking at all these other big paydays, and you know, and you know, I think Shawn could pull up the upset. I think Shawn could be stopped on cuts and go to the cards, and maybe Shawn could win it, or Shawn could squeak out a point decision, very close point decision. But you know, at this point, to be honest with you, yeah. The Richter scale doesn't really change either way. I mean, if Devon wins, you know, he's got a couple more options, a bit more paydays, a bit more leverage to try and get the Floyd fight. If Shawn Porter wins, you know, he's opened up his career into the mega bucks, which would be really good for him, and definitely for me in e-boxing, because you know we got a post interview with him straight away. So so I got a guy. He's a real good guy, and I hope he does his best. So I'm rolling with Shawn Porter. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm sensing that you and e-boxing news got some type of incentives going on for Shawn Porter to win, man.
That's our guy, man. That's our guy, man.
Yeah, he's got a fan for life in me.
Yeah, okay, so we're picking our friends now. That's what we're doing, huh? So we're picking our friends now.
You know what it is? The thing is, we wouldn't be that wrong if it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them fights there that it wouldn't be. You know, we'd be honest. You know, me and e-boxing talked about it. We wouldn't be that. It's the margin is not that big error that we wouldn't be outclassed. Not like the Belly and Stevenson. It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? So either way, you're not wrong big. You know what I mean? Either way, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a close fight. I think it's a close fight. You know, it's a pick-em fight. Yeah. Before we close, let's just go ahead and run through really quick, and everybody name a couple of opponents that you would like to see the winner fight. Mark, you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Yeah, I think if Devon wins, he should definitely fight Kell Brook. I think the winner fights Kell Brook.
Mm-hmm. Stuart?
Yeah, Kell Brook.
Yeah.
That's the only fight I can see Devon go. I don't think. I've got a feeling Mayweather and Khan are going to get it on, so that takes Khan out of the equation. I just think Kell Brook is his next fight. I think them two have to get it on. I mean, it's been messing around for how long now? Three fights cancelled. I just think it's meant to be. Them fighters will get it on, and I think Kell Brook will knock him out.
Hopefully so, man. EJ, what do you think?
I think if both of them win, I got Shawn Porter. He will win. I think he should fight Amir Khan. That's a great fight stylistically, and that'll be a good fight for the fans. I don't like the Devon Alexander and the Kell Brook thing. I think it's boring. Like I know they want to fight because of the needle they build up, but I'd like to see if Devon Alexander, I'd like to see him versus Amir Khan. I'd like to see and if Amir Khan wins that, then I'd like to see the Kell Brook one, because that would be really good. Because Amir Khan brings a bit more money into it. It's a bit more incentive. Amir Khan took the belt from the guy he wanted it from. The needle will be the fight will be mega from that. It will be a mega fight from that way. So I'd like to see it go that way. A Devon fight, Khan. Maybe if he lost the Khan fight thing. If Shawn Porter wins, I'd like to see him fight Khan, and then maybe after that fight thingy. So Kell Brook. So that's it.
Yeah, good points. Yeah, I think you may have a point there. I think Devon or Shawn versus Amir Khan is definitely stylistically a pretty nice fight. You know, it's a pretty eye-pleasing fight. But you know, I agree. I wouldn't mind seeing the Alexander versus Brook fight at this point. I mean, there's been so much build-up put into that fight already, and now these guys, both of their names are just linked at this point. There's already been promotion kind of put into trying to make that fight happen numerous times, so we might as well get that fight as well. I mean, either way, moving forward, you know, there's definitely going to be some big fights happening in 2014 based on the outcome of this fight. So let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I think that's about it. That's e-boxing news, Stuart Little and Errol Jarrett. You're going to want to go ahead and subscribe to all their channels. Check them out. Leave us some comments and let us know, what do you think? Who are you picking in this fight? Devon Alexander versus Shawn Porter. Let us know what you think. Peace.